Now we are going to learn about exponential patterns. Okay, so let's say we are given the following set. Two, 4, 8, 16, 32. All right? So, just like we did with linear patterns, we're going to have 3 questions that we ask ourselves. First question, what is the first term? Well, the first term in this sequence is 2, followed by the second term, which is 4. Third term is 8. Fourth term is 16. The fifth term is 32. So the first term is going to be 2. The second question that we ask ourselves is this pattern increasing or decreasing? Well, we're starting at 2 and we're ending at 32. So I'd say we are increasing. No? Yes. We are increasing. Third question, by how much? This is how you know if a pattern is linear or exponential. Remember, with linear patterns, each term in the sequence was increased by the same amount or decreased by the same amount. So that's a fancy way of saying you added or subtracted the same amount each time. In exponential patterns, you do multiply by the same amount each term. So instead of addition or subtraction, it's just multiplication. So as you can see here, to get from 2 to 4, we multiplied 2 by 4. To get from 4 to 8, we multiplied by 2. To get from 8 to 16, we multiplied by 2. To get from 16 to 32, we multiplied by 2. So if you ever find yourself writing to the third question, by how much, if you ever find yourself writing a multiplication symbol, you know that it is an exponential pattern. So if it's times 2, it is an exponential pattern. So exponential is just multiply each term by the same amount. Okay? Great. So let's talk about the kinds of questions you're going to see for exponential pattern problems. You're going to see 2 types of questions, just like with linear patterns. You're going to see a question where it says, find some term. Let's say find the 9th term. All right, so we're going to need to find the 9th term in this sequence. Let's set up our little bars. We have the 6th term, the 7th term, the 8th term, and the 9th term. Okay, so we're trying to get to here. Well, we just have to multiply by 2 each time, right? So we're going to multiply 32 times 2. We're going to get 64. Oops, we're going to get 64. We're going to multiply that times 2, and we're going to get 128. We're going to multiply that times 2, and we're going to get 256. We're going to multiply that times 2, and we're going to get 512. So as you can see, these numbers get real big real fast. As opposed to linear patterns, they were kind of, just increasing by a little bit each time, decreasing by a little bit each time. These get big. So I'm just writing up here what I did to show my work, so you know how I got the numbers. So find the nth term. The nth term is going to, find the 9th term. The 9th term is going to be 512, which we found right there. The second type of question you're going to see is find the equation that represents the pattern. So we know that the pattern, each number in the pattern is being multiplied by a number. So we know right off the bat that it's an exponential pattern because the terms in the sequence are being multiplied. So we need to use an exponential equation, we need to use an exponential equation to show this relationship. So, sorry, just erasing. So what is the form for an exponential equation? Y equals A times B to the X, right? A times B to the X. So in this instance, A is going to equal the number you multiply by, or let's refer to it as how you continue. And B is going to be the 0th term. So I know you worked with 0th term before in linear patterns, but I'm just going to review it again really quick, okay? So we're looking for this term right here, the 0 term. It is the term that when you multiply by 2, or whatever the pattern is being multiplied by, you get the first term. So you're looking for the number that when multiplied by 2 gives you 2. And that is 1, right? When you multiply 1 by 2, it gives you 2. All right, so we know that in this instance, A is going to be 2, because that is the number that you multiply each term by. And then B is going to be 1. So if we plug that into this equation right here, we get Y equals 2, B is 1, to the X. So we get Y equals 2 to the X. And that is our exponential pattern equation.